Hey everybody, welcome to this advanced English podcast video. This video can help you practice your listening as I speak. Before we dive in, remember to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell. If you're looking to take your listening practice even further, I highly recommend exploring our other podcast playlists. Now let's start. Today, I want to address a topic that often gets overshadowed by the desire to speak. We all know that the ultimate goal for most language learners is to communicate effectively, to open your mouth and have words flow out effortlessly. However, in this rush to speak, many learners inadvertently neglect the most powerful fuel for that engine: reading. I'm not talking about reading textbook dialogues or analyzing short, disjointed sentences for grammar practice. I'm talking about extensive reading, diving into narratives, articles, and stories that genuinely captivate your interest. You see, there is a common misconception that reading is a passive activity. People often think, I want to be active. I want to produce language, not just sit there and stare at a page. But this view is fundamentally flawed. When you read, your brain is engaged in a rigorous workout. You are constantly decoding meaning, predicting what comes next, and verifying your assumptions. It is a silent dialogue between you and the author. More importantly, reading provides you with something that is absolutely indispensable for reaching a C1 level or higher: exposure to language in context. Think about how you usually learn vocabulary. If you're like most people, you might have a list of words with their translations. You memorize them, and perhaps you pass a test. But when you try to use those words in a real conversation, your mind goes blank. Why? Because you learned the word in isolation. You don't know its friends, the prepositions that usually follow it, the specific verbs it pairs with, or the subtle emotional weight it carries. Reading solves this. When you encounter a word in a story, you see it in its natural habitat. You see how it interacts with the sentence structure. By seeing it repeatedly in different contexts, you don't just memorize the definition, you acquire the feel of the word. You begin to develop an intuition. Furthermore, reading grants you the luxury of time, which is a significant advantage over listening. When you are listening to a podcast or a movie, the audio moves at a relentless pace. If you miss a phrase, it is gone. This can cause anxiety and cause your brain to shut down. But with a book or an article, you are the master of time. You can pause. You can reread a complex sentence structure until the logic of the grammar clicks into place. This allows you to notice the nuances of the language. The way a past perfect tense sets the scene before a past simple action occurs, or how a relative clause adds detail without breaking the flow. You internalize grammar without memorizing rulebooks. So here's the takeaway I want you to leave with today. If you feel stuck on a plateau, if you feel like your vocabulary is limited and your sentences are repetitive, the solution is likely not more speaking practice, but more input. Find material that is just slightly above your current level, challenging enough to teach you something new, but easy enough to follow the plot without a dictionary. Let the story carry you. Trust that your brain is doing the heavy lifting in the background. If you make reading a daily habit, I promise you, the words will be there when you are finally ready to speak. All right, that's enough for today. I truly appreciate you joining me. I'd love to hear your insights, so please share your ideas. I'll see you next time.